Hello, welcome back to Tauri, where we're here for Qatar, the penultimate race of the season. It's a sprint race, but it is also a race in which we could technically, officially, mathematically rule McLaren out of the fight for fourth. With just the two races to go, we are 21 points ahead of McLaren. I'll get you caught up on the previous two results in a moment, but we are 21 points ahead. Strictly speaking, if we are 43 points ahead, or 44, I suppose, with the fastest lap ahead at Abu Dhabi, then they cannot catch us. Now, realistically, Red Bull and Ferrari are basically locked out 1, 2, 3, 4 at this point in time. So I think as long as we're around 20 points by the end of this still, we should be fine. Because there's no realistic way McLaren, unless there's an absolute carnage in Abu Dhabi, get first and second, or third or fourth. Also, notably, last race, Haas got a point. Poor Daniel and Isaac don't have one, but it was Iwasa. And it's been a weird couple of races for our drivers. You can see what I mean regarding Red Bull and Ferrari at the moment. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty nailed on. Alex has had a weird time. Stuck in 15th at Mexico, whereas Yuki got 6th, and dead last at Brazil. He had a weird qualifying because he qualified 17th. So then I decided to take a new gearbox on him because I might as well just do it there and then. And then he had incidents in the race and basically got trapped in 20th. There's a very late situation in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Both those races involved rain, incidentally. But the track dried up for the last 3 or 4 laps in Brazil, and some drivers switched on to dries. I decided not to because I figured 3 or 4 laps might just survive anyway, the extra pit stop. Lando is one of those people who went on to dries. Lando was 6th anyway at that point, so the only person that Yuki was threatened by was still Lando. It was a risk worth taking. He still finished 7th, whereas Alex got overtaken by Hadjar and Giovinazzi by virtue of staying on the intermediates. So a little odd, but there's Iwasa's singular point. Thankfully, yes, rain did cause a little bit of change-up. Carlos Sainz won that one, but then George, Charles, Sergio, Max, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where things stand. We will also cover just the roundup of what happens over the remainder of the season in this video. So what happens with Alex, drivers, staff, all that jazz. We'll do all that after Qatar, but before Abu Dhabi in case anything goes wrong. But anyway, see you for the qualifying shortly. Right, then we'll try and keep this brief as possible just to get through to the sprint and the race as quickly as possible. But we'll send our drivers out for a quick 2 laps. Obviously in Qatar, no chance of rain, so we don't need to deal with that faff for the first time in 2 weekends, 3 weekends, 4 weekends, of course, because it rained, of course, last time we met. We won't speak of that one. I still haven't remembered to check all my extra stuff to see what's causing this problem, so apologies for that. But Alex is in a spot of bother here, which is not surprising of late for some reason. But Yuki's still on the threshold himself. Of course, we've not brought any upgrades at all in the last 8 races where the AI still bother to. Also being followed by one of the Hasses. I hope they're on a flying lap now and will actually disappear shortly. I tried to send Yuki out to sort of drag Alex around, but he's miles ahead of him for some reason on the track. I don't know what's going on ahead of them there because that looks absolute carnage. He might get a toe off someone because there are 3 vehicles going in formation ahead of him. It looks to be a Sauber sandwich with one of the Astons in it, but I don't know which one. It's Lance Stroll who's found himself in that problem. Alex's issue is he's about to join that problem, having already done a slower sector 1. Yuki does a faster sector 2. He's still only on the threshold himself, of course, so even if Alex did somehow miraculously go faster here. What is Alex's problem? Dear God, he has been so underserved by this game. Because it's not like he's going faster than the Sauber, but it's not like the Sauber's held him up. He'll drag him to the line. Yuki goes only 13th, actually. That improvement only mounted to about 2/10. Alex doesn't improve at all, and that is depressing. Still, got the sprint to make up positions first. Giovinazzi, after a nice little run recently, is having a bit of a bother of late as well. I'm not fully certain Yuki will get through here, but it is Iwasa the one that he's got to get ahead of. But also, actually, I think Norris might have done a second lap already because I swear his first lap had him in 15th. So Norris might be done in 13th. But still, maybe expect something from Magnussen. Piastri's been in the top 10 of late. He's not been actually utterly woeful. I think Piastri's profile has sort of started to round out a bit, and the things that have been holding him back on race weekends are now filling in a little bit more. Because it's weird, even though he isn't rated as highly as he probably should have been to begin with, like the overall rating doesn't necessarily hold drivers back. There was clearly some fundamental part of his overall profile that was holding him back over the course of a weekend because there were other drivers who were rated 78, 79, 80 that were performing sort of almost as well as their teammates because of the fact that driver rating basically doesn't matter. And I believe it was his smoothness attribute in particular. So because his tyres were wearing off faster than most other people's, he was losing performance faster than other people. Therefore, that causes a much bigger race total time. And that was a perfect disappearance from, I think it was, Lando. As Yuki has done a faster sector 1 and a faster sector 2. Wasser's already locked in 11th. It is Piastri that has put them down, speaking of Piastri. But we've only got to find half a 10th, and he finds 2, I think. Yuki sneaks 10th because Piastri is done. So Yuki did a functional first lap, just got a time on the board really, it's still 10th. I'm not really expecting anything other than 10th, quite frankly. But he'll cross the line, tyre's still cold, but they will be overheating by the end of it. It's a fickle track, Qatar. But we're on board, there's no one on track ahead of him, that's probably going to get in the way, even those drivers may be on in laps ahead, because a lot of people went early. I think actually only Carlos Sainz might be on a flying lap simultaneously. The Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari that's just going around the final corners are all done. So Leclerc, Perez, Russell all sorted. I think Verstappen might be sorted as well, but I'm not certain. I believe Stroll and Gasly are done, as is Ocon. I don't know if Zhou and Verstappen. Verstappen is. It's marked him down as in the pit, so yeah, they were done as well. Everyone went really early. We'll see if Yuki's making any improvements at all. He did the first lap on used tyres. So it's only really Yuki and then Carlos Sainz you need to pay attention to here. Cross the line. Still 10th. The difference... I just want to put this out there. The difference between a set of tyres that came in at 73% when he went into the pits and a brand new set, 2 tenths. 2 tenths. The difference between a quarter of a tyre. This game really needs to sort some of its stuff out. Carlos Sainz doesn't improve, I don't think. There are penalties for Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly for the race. So any places gained by Yuki Tsunoda will be further helped by those penalties. Also one for Valtteri Bottas, which will only help Alex, maybe, I don't know. But we've got to get through another practice session. I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone who's watched the actual Qatar Grand Prix this year that the sprint is probably going to be a medium endeavour, which looks like I don't need to even touch that, but I might need to just lock it in as a thing, so it actually does it as a 3 rather than a 5. The 2 laps of push at the beginning will probably counterbalance the little bit of wiggle room there is at the end. Oh, as it is lights out and away we go. I notice a heck of a lot of people on softs. There's a couple of people on hards, which might not actually be terrible in this one situation. Giovinazzi, Norris, Iwasa, Stroll all on hards. Like I say, it might not be awful, although it might be their only hard tyre, depending on what they used in practices. If they saved us, 2 sets of hards, both sets of hards, then they'll be all right for the race, I imagine. Because I don't think the soft is going to feature all that much, or if it does, it'll be soft, medium, medium. But Albon has been taken by Hadjar. Tsunoda did have Zhou Guan Yu temporarily, and that was that. Lads, to be fair, actually, Hadjar on a soft, but still, what are we doing, Alex? My only thinking is it is something to do with the fact the engine under yet, but it's close to being under, and it probably will be under during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm not going to take a new engine just for one race. ERS might just survive as well. But Alex's car by the end of Abu Dhabi is going to be under on those 2 things, I think. But that's just going to be a sacrifice that we make. They have exactly the same aerodynamic car parts. There's no problems there, but, Yuki's had a brand new engine recently, a brand new ERS. Well, a brand new ERS at some point recently, then also a newish gearbox. DRS activates on lap 2, of course, but everyone will continue pushing for lap 2. Alex making moves. He's got free of Hadjar, and now Giovinazzi on the hard. Tsunoda stays 10th. Of course, only points here for 8th upwards, so... Oh, look, it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Mercedes. There's a surprise. But Stroll in 7th should go backwards now, being on a hard tyre. We'll bring everything off now. It's 2 laps in, and we basically just let them go as standard for the rest of this race. Sprint. But Alex on the back of Daniel Ricciardo, who does still have DRS on Magnussen, who is in 16th for some reason. If I'm not mistaken, Bottas has gone up 3 places. He has a penalty for the race, which is unfortunate, but Bottas, I think, has gone from 16th to 13th. And Magnussen has gone from 14th to 16th, I want to say. Unfortunately, Yuki's gone from 10th to 10th, and Alex has gone from 19th to 18th. So, still 16 more laps. Am I going crazy? I mean, you're on a medium tyre, I suppose, Yuki, so yeah, actually, being hounded by Piastri is not a surprise. But their tyres will disappear and yours won't. Whereas Alex is hunting someone in a slower car to begin with. If anything, actually, Piastri on a soft will help drag Yuki round during this section. And he'll get Stroll as well because he's on a hard. No, in fact, Piastri didn't drag Yuki around. He immediately dropped him, and now Iwasa might overtake him, even though Iwasa is on a hard. Wait, hang on, what? Yuki, you're right there, son. Why are you lapping slower than someone on a hard tyre? What is wrong with you? Are you feeling okay? Oh, no, sorry. In fairness, it looks like Stroll and Iwasa are pushing those hard tyres, so they might be getting more performance out of them. And I think he's been dropped now anyway. So yeah, I think Iwasa pushed for a little bit, and now he's been dropped. So his tyre usage was on a similar level to Yuki's medium, so that explains that then. But Norris is through now, and Norris will probably get Yuki because I think... No, wait, hang on. Norris is on a hard, isn't he? Yeah, Norris is on a hard as well. This is more confusing. clearly pushing, and he's actually overtaken. There's no overtake replays, of course, in a sprint. So, Alex, what in God's name are you doing back here still? You were supposed to go forwards in this sprint, Alex. He's got a Wasser, weirdly. No. Albon's had DRS basically every single lap on Daniel Ricciardo. He hasn't this time round, for some reason. Poor Wasser's now last. But everyone's soft tyres are now, well, actually, the ones at the front are doing okay, but other people's soft tyres are sub 40. The benefit of the medium is coming into play. There's still 5 more laps, and I was about to say we might be able to push the tyres, but I don't think we can. Maybe for the last couple, but Alex all over the back of Daniel Ricciardo now, and I think he might actually get him here. He does indeed. Alex finally dispatches Daniel Ricciardo on lap 14. I say finally, he's fighting back. Daniel, I love you, but know when you're beaten. Yuki's problem is probably Norris. Actually, Norris is well up the road. But that lap time should be coming back to Yuki Tsunoda. I just want to point something out here. Magnussen on 30% softs is keeping up with Yuki Tsunoda on 54% mediums. How? How is Magnussen doing that? And the lap in which he does hit that 30%, Magnussen goes 9/10 slower immediately. This game needs to sort its tyres out. Tyres are the most, really, quite frankly, fundamental part of the race weekend. And the fact that they just work until exactly 30% is ridiculous, as Piastri's tyres blown up immediately. Yeah, he's hit 30% and his tyres blown up straight away. But the fact that the tyres just work until exactly 30%, well, they kind of work up until 40%, and then they get slow between 30 and 40, and then they just basically don't function at all after 30%. It's so stupid how the tyres work in this game. It's just a very minor decrease between like 100 and 40%, then a slightly bigger decrease from 40 to 30, and then just a drop off. But it's a free place for Alex as well. Alex should be gaining on Bottas. Oh, he's literally on Bottas. So Alex should be up to 14th minimum by the end of this. He's only got 2 laps to get to Vries, who might be dead slow as well. Sorry, is Piastri just continuing to go around on 0% tyres? Why? Oh no, he's not actually made it to the pit yet. But he's going to have to pit for... It's weird. He might as well just go around for 2 laps. He's 20th either way, but I guess it's damage to the car is the problem. Push Yuki, he's not going to get closer. And yeah, actually, we probably can actually go full attack for these last 2 laps. Oh, Guan Yu was in 7th. That's 2 points for McLaren. I wonder if Stroll will get them being on hards. I'm living in a world where I need Stroll to actually do things. Stroll, I mean, realistically, those hards could have gone probably full 5 attack for the entire race. But Stroll needs to get Gasly first is the problem. But Guan Yu's on 20% softs. None of these people on soft should be moving. Why is Stroll utterly useless? I was supposed to say, can Alex get Magnussen, but I don't think he can. Unless they're like biblically slow, I don't think he can. This should not be this difficult for Stroll. Stroll makes a point off Gasly, but I don't need that. I need him to get the point off Guan Yu. How is Guan Yu doing a 127.9 still with 20% tyres when his teammate on a hard tyre has only gone 8/10 faster? I mean, they dragged to the line, but not helpful. I think Alex got quite close to Magnussen in the end, but only 2 seconds. So McLaren get 2 points in the sprint. Not ideal. Oliver Wasser's good work in qualifying. Qualifying 12th is undone with the worst strategy possible in the race. He had a spin as well, bless him. But penalties for Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. We'll see how that factors into Yuki Tsunoda. My main concern here is it is going to push Guan Yu at worst 5th for the start of this. And Lando's at least going to get Pierre Gasly. I think these are all going to be big ones. I don't think they are penalties for incidents, 3 places and all that. I apologise if there's been no game sound up to this point. I've only just noticed there was nothing coming through on that side of things in OBS, so apologies if that was the case. Alex's starting position is 11th, Yuki's is 8th, so 3 of those people definitely go back of the grid. I said at the beginning, I think soft, medium was probably the one. We'll flip Alex around just by virtue of him being further back, so that just sort of separates out the pit stops a little bit. Yeah, all good.
We're all set here in LaSalle. It's lights out, and away we go.
I can see the McLarens in front of each other. That is 5th and 7th for them to start with, so that was indeed the case. Verstappen and Gasly were back of the grid. Ocon was to near the back of the grid, 17th. And I think Leclerc was the other one with a penalty, wasn't he? He started 4th. So that might have been 1st to 4th. So that was only a 3 place. Alex fighting with Daniel Ricciardo on the first lap. Alex, dear God. Daniel's on the fastest first race and he's on a soft tyre. Okay, well, that's something at least. Annoyingly, Norris and Stroll are on soft tyres. I was hoping to gain places at the beginning and then just sort of hang on to people and not being afforded that benefit. In fact, for some reason, De Vries is hounding on a medium tyre behind. There's no way when we're all pushing everything that De Vries is faster than Yuki. Awassa's overtaken Albon. Also, how did Awassa start 12th? Awassa finishes the race 19th, the sprint 19th. How has he ended up there? Bottas had a penalty as well, didn't he? So Russell's just had a really good start on those soft tyres. Because he would have started behind Hadjar. Well, that's 2 laps down. For the sake of the engine as well, I'm not doing full push with curbs. Actually, to be fair, I could probably do it with Yuki Tsunoda because his engine's okay. But I can't do it with Alex. VSC, that's Ocon in the wall down here. Crash involving multiple cars, but it's only Ocon out. That is Valtteri Bottas, who was responsible for an incident with Alex, actually, in Brazil. Oh, and then Ocon's literally just returned to the track in front of Piastri. So that is actually Ocon's fault that he's out. Valtteri's fault that he was off the track to begin with. That was just very poor returning to the track. The one time they actually returned to the track instantly, immediately shunted off. Yeah, the one time they returned to the track, absolute carnage. Oh, it's too early to pit, isn't it? Ocon does get a penalty for that, interestingly. VSC ending, I can't really push the tyres all that much, so I'm just going to leave them still. But I'm going to push the fuel instead, because we're now back to only minus 0.3, which is lovely. So we'll push it quite hard again, because Qatar was actually a bit of a carnage in previous years. So De Vries did get Tsunoda at one point. I don't remember getting that replay. I'm still harvesting on Alex. That was nearly a tragedy. Alex still within range of Giovinazzi, who did get Alex as well at some point. I don't know if he had to avoid that accident. Giovinazzi's also on a medium, which... yeah, okay. It looks like we've looked after our tyres a little bit better than most other people on the equivalent. Alex has the best medium tyres, apart from Gasly, in 18th. Verstappen has only gone up to 17th, which is odd. When I know it's lap 7 we just had a VSC, but I'd expected him to have made more progress on that by now. It is a Ferrari 1-2, Norris 5-6. That's basically the worst case scenario. That's as high as I thought they'd get, and that's only because 2 drivers are... well, Ocon's out now, and Verstappen's still only 16. I expect Verstappen to still be 5th by the end of this, by the way. At the very least. Yuki's only getting 2 to help mitigate this points haul from McLaren. I don't like this. In fact, we're only going backwards. I don't understand where our pace is. Or indeed isn't, as the case may be. Verstappen is now up to 12th, and he's on a Russell and Ricciardo, so he'll be 11th within 2 laps. I think it was just the VSC that held him up. Alex is fighting Bottas. That tells you how bad this race is going for him. Like, where is this pace gone? How is he fighting a Sauber for track position, legitimately in the race? Why are you this bad? Pit window is entered, but he still can't really push those tyres, I don't think. Verstappen's actually struggling to get through a Western Ricciardo for whatever reason. 2 laps he's been trapped there. Blessing for everyone from 1st to 4th. Although Stroll's got through Zhou and Norris, which is good. The Aston's maybe faster than the McLarens of this race. We'll happily take that, if that is the case. Alex is lapping faster than Ricciardo and Giovinazzi. And yet, Giovinazzi's medium tyres are 6% worse. He has pushed them more than Alex, which might be part of the difference. He has gained a little bit on them. Bottas is still hanging on because he's not that much slower. But the leaders are doing 128s. Zhou Guanyu's doing 129.4. No DRS for him. So he's 6/10 faster than Yuki, who's on a soft tyre, and a full 1 second faster than Albon, who's on the same tyre. Either those McLarens have had upgrades or something. Oh no, he's gone a lot slower this lap. Maybe he just had DRS last lap. So I say, how the hell is Zhou Guanyu going that fast? Russell didn't have DRS there. Verstappen's got him. We're watching that for some reason. Right, Yuki, attack those softs. This is your pit lap. Gasly got put through Albon as well for good measure. He's still 15th because Wasser's pitted, but he's not got any closer net to Giovinazzi. That might have been partially because he had to fight Gasly, but it is irritating. How are you doing in terms of... you might have a little bit more push before you pit. At the very least, Yuki won't have to fight Verstappen on track because by the time Max gets there, Yuki will have pitted, although he's on the same tyres. Hopefully Max goes a little longer. Oh no, he's gone in the same lap. Never mind. Sub 1.9. Tsunoda crucially actually comes out ahead of Hadjar. Max doesn't. So Max is going to be held up again a little bit. Just get these up to temperature and then immediately take them off push. Nice gap to Alex and Bottas as well for Yuki to drive in. Getting close to the threshold for pitting Alex as well. Surprised other soft runners haven't come off yet. Ricciardo hasn't. His tyres are basically done. There we go. Nice, so tyres off to temperature. It's taken basically 1 full lap for Yuki to get there, but there we go. Done. We're ahead of Ricciardo anyway, so that's not really a place gain for Yuki. I'm trying to work out how many laps we can probably push Alex's tyres on. I think the start of next lap will push Alex. Yeah, that feels good. Max does fastest lap as he does get through Yuki Tsunoda. We'll watch it because, quite frankly, we've not had any forward overtakes from our drivers yet since the opening lap, which we didn't get highlights for. There we are. There's Max going through, asserting Red Bull dominance. Bear in mind that Yuki started 8th and Max started, I think, 19th. They are now on track on lap 20 in 14th, 15th. So Alex gets Norris temporarily as he pits off softs. Norris stayed on those softs quite long. I don't know how much time he lost by doing so. I believe Stroll. Oh no, Stroll's already changed off softs to another set of softs. Interesting. Other people's medium tyres are looking worse for wear. It's worth saying, as soon as we pushed Alex, he's gained like a second. In terms of strategy and all that jazz, most time gained is... there's actually an Aston off the track. That is Stroll. That's unfortunate. That only helps the McLarens, really. Stroll, as always, off the track. You gain most lap time just by being able to push the tyres. So the best attribute, the only attribute that really makes a difference for drivers is smoothness, which I mentioned before was Piastri's downfall in races. It was other rookie drivers' downfalls like Logan Sargent and people like that. It wasn't their overall rating that held them back. It was their ability to hold on to tyres. They had to pit earlier and therefore lost a lot of lap time. Or by the time they pitted, they were on much worse tyres and lost a lot of lap time that way. They basically just, towards the end of stints in particular, lost a lot of lap time compared to everyone else, which is why they always went backwards in races. Right, so we'll put him on a soft in the middle of this race. That being said, Yuki's just in a 128.9 without pushing. He's not in Bottas's DRS, but Bottas has to pit soon, surely. He's on 34%. This was the optimal lap for Alex, and he's on 40%. How close to Giovinazzi has he got? 1.5, so he has closed that gap right back up again, which is good. I could almost maybe let him go for another lap. I don't know. It depends if Giovinazzi comes in. Giovinazzi doesn't come in. We might get an undercut. But he did leave Bottas behind. Yuki goes through. Back up to 12th temporarily. Up to 11th, in fact, as well. Magnussen's just got out behind him. Not the fastest pit stop for Alex there. Ricciardo's still ahead on track, but Bottas behind. Well behind now. I think Bottas outside of a DRS zone is going to just vanish now, as he has been doing ever since we started pushing, really. Ricciardo at this point in time is on a soft as well, having pitted earlier. I think he's done soft like Stroll for some reason. So the rest of the medium tyres at the front will start coming in. Russell and Zhou are in. So Tsunoda's only 4 seconds behind Norris. They're all being held by Giovinazzi now, which is actually really good, actually. Thank you, Giovinazzi. That will help us long term here. Has Zhou had an error? Because it feels like a really long pit stop from him. He's been overtaken by his teammate Norris and Giovinazzi. Well, Giovinazzi's not pitted, but Zhou is only 3 seconds ahead of Tsunoda. Alex's tyres up to temperatures. There we go. He's gone on to another set of mediums, so he's gone medium. This doesn't feel optimal from Giovinazzi, or Gasly or De Vries, really, for that matter. Crucially, Gasly and Giovinazzi now in, so we'll see what happens there. Magnussen's overtaken Tsunoda. I'm not surprised by that, really. So Gasly and Giovinazzi pop back out. This is versus Alex, really. Still being marked as in the pits. I can see them there. I think Alex has got Giovinazzi through that period. He's still behind Gasly, though. But ahead of Giovinazzi and maybe clear of him, DRS-wise. Depending on how easy it is for Giovinazzi to get lap time in straight away, Bottas might be on his tail and causing a problem. But Giovinazzi has gone to a set of softs, having started on medium, so he's doing medium soft, maybe medium soft, I don't know. De Vries is yet to pit still, which might work in Yuki's favour. Yuki's back in 10th for the time being, largely because of Stroll's waywardness. But Stroll is on his tail now. But De Vries should put Yuki back into the top 10. Wass is on the fringe. De Vries has come in now. Here comes Yuki, round the final corner. Stroll's taken him before the DRS zone, which is really kind of him, actually. Because Stroll's now going to drag Yuki around, at least for that lap. And so De Vries comes out well behind now. Not optimal for him. Fortunately, Giovinazzi got up to speed quite quickly and is immediately on Alex's tail again. I swear to God, the only highlights I've seen of my drivers are them going backwards. Speaking of which, here's the crucial one. Nick De Vries, Yuki Tsunoda, soft tyre, medium tyre, DRS. Nothing Yuki can do. This is such a depressing race, and I don't really know why. We've been quite competent recently, particularly with Yuki. Yuki's actually outdoing his pace a little bit, so he might be able to push quite hard in the last couple of laps of these. Sorry, that's Alex's. Yuki's in the same boat on his mediums. And to be fair, actually, those mediums will come to him over De Vries. Stroll's basically done with his second set of softs. He must be doing soft hard. There's no way that's soft medium on 34%. Although, mind you, he probably damaged them when he came off. That's what's happened there, isn't it? Oh, no, he didn't. No, he went onto them really early because Ricciardo was 10% behind, so I don't think he actually did damage them that too much. Ricciardo might be able to get away with soft medium. I don't think Stroll can. Albon's over... Our driver has overtaken someone else. We're having a positive overtake. And that's part of the problem, actually, with this race, I think, as well, is the confidence issue. Usually, we go forwards early on, get a bit of confidence in, and it becomes a knock-on effect as they keep on that pace. Whereas here, they're just medium, because basically every highlight they have is them going backwards. But now Alex is on very high motivation. He might start putting in better lap times as Yuki gets overtaken again, which is only going to hurt his confidence more. Hopefully Gasly is someone he can fight with at this point in time, because Gasly's tyres are of a similar level. And Wasta behind isn't really going to challenge. Ricciardo's already dropped off Alex as well, crucially. So Alex might be able to put in some good lap times, get in a few good sectors. We're in his pit window. He's on 56% tyres. He might be okay. Again, this might be a case of just waiting a lap and then pushing them. Go for it, Alex. Get Bottas well out of your DRS. Like, Bottas is getting interested for some reason. Get him out of your DRS, Alex. So Stroll and Ricciardo have now pitted. Alex now pits back onto mediums. off these softs. He's dropped Bottas. Giovinassi's now well behind as well, before we've even pitted. Verstappen's pitted a second time as well, clearly. He's now back down in 10th, but he was up to 5th before he did that. Are we? Oh, we're actually at Yuki's pit window. We can push these tyres. This is actually Yuki's optimal lap, so let's get him in. Off those mediums. Oh, might as well push the fuel on his in lap as well. We've got 20 laps to get back. I think he's got ERS as well. We might push that on the out lap. So Alex comes out just ahead of Leclerc, I think that is, which is unfortunate. Leclerc's just on a 126.9. Can you do that, Alex? On your out lap on a medium? Or are you just going to immediately yield to Leclerc? I worry he's a little too close to Leclerc there. Yeah, he's been lapped, which kind of ruins the situation a little bit. No, Yuki's been held up by 2 seconds. That's not really going to affect him too much because he was about 7 seconds ahead of Iwasa, but it does prevent him going forwards too much. Miles of watching, we've not really had much in the way of highlights for us. And this isn't really a highlight, is it? It's a low light. Rear left, couldn't get it on. Iwasa's in the pits now anyway. So Iwasa pitted a second time there. Iwasa's pitted a second time and they come out sort of directly ahead of Leclerc. And Albon's pounced on him because Albon's holding on to Leclerc. I want to watch this because I didn't really see it happen live because we were busy watching the other highlight.
The opportunity's there.
Yeah, Alex, absolute opportunist. Love that from him. Love that from him. I mean, he's still 14th and not doing well, but I love that from him. And I think he's still in DRS range if he's good here. Problem is he's still pushing, which is not helpful. But Leclerc is on 37% softs, actually. He might be basically done. So if you can just give us DRS, Charles, that'd be great. Russell's on the fringes. Oh, he's not even pitted as well. Thanks, Charles. What was that lap time? 127.1, 127.3, which is 4 seconds faster than Yuki, who's still aggressively attacking his tyres and pushing everything, apparently. So there's a yellow flag for someone. Nobody's off the track. That was just temporary, Ricciardo. Leclerc should pit before he catches Yuki, who is a ways up the road, but the next person for Charles. That's another yellow flag, as that looks like Piastri, who was last anyway. Bottas, De Vries, Magnussen, Norris, Zhou, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc all need to pit again. Iwasa is annoyingly competitive here and has actually just taken Alex, so that's great fun. I think Leclerc's pitted as well, which is what's happened there. Bottas pits and comes out well behind Alex again, and everyone has now pitted for a second time. Zhou 6th, Norris 7th, Snowden 5 seconds behind De Vries. I don't know where our pace is. I genuinely don't know where our pace is this race. Snowden's been comfortably top 10 the last 2 races. He's losing time on De Vries, lap by lap, like significant time. And I do not know how. Bottas caught Alex as well. He might be on softs at the end of this race. Yeah, he is. Oh, De Vries is on softs as well. He did medium soft, I think, for some reason. And somehow. That's why he was losing time hand over fist. Bottas just scythed through the field. The softs are superb here for some reason, despite the fact they should be melting. Has Leclerc re-lapped people? Yes, he's actually lapped up to Tsunoda. He's literally just done Tsunoda in, so might as well push these tyres from here then, because we're a lap down. Yeah, there's no point holding on to whatever is left of these. But no, we're 12th and 15th. There's nothing we can do about this. Oh, we're a lap down. We can push the fuel as well. What a terrible race. I'm sorry you had to endure that. Max Verstappen was only 29 seconds off the lead in the end, having started 19th. Seems like the Mercedes just had enough to hold both Ferraris at bay, which is a nice little deviation, I suppose. But otherwise it's kind of as tight, because Max Verstappen was the anomaly from where he started. Then it's McLaren, Aston, 14 points. So 16 points for McLaren overall is not good. The Drivers' Championship is still 2x2, of course. Although Lando could get Esteban and Kevin could get Alex. Yeah, that's not good. They're only 5 points behind. Oh, we're just putting a manual save in case things go wrong here. But our plan here... Do you mean too close to season start / end? What? The whole point was to renew your contract for the new year as the main driver. Maybe they'll actually let me do it after the race then. I can do it with my engineers, and I'm going to do it with my engineers now, but they've accepted the same wage. The fact they're both 87 now is... I had to pay the same as Hamalan to get Spiny back again. For some reason, he wouldn't accept the same contract the way Hamalan did there. But yeah, they're both on 87 now. They're both actually probably amongst the best. There's not really much I can do on that front. It is pointless, annoying things like this that make me really frustrated with this game, because this is nonsensical. I'd understand it if his contract was ending and I was trying to renew it like Alex's is. I kind of understand that frustration as a driver to go, no, actually, you know what, you've left it too late, I'm leaving. But he's got a year left on his contract. This has got nothing to do with renewing his contract for a further time. I want to give him a new contract and a different seat. And I think it's the same with every other driver right now. Literally all of them say not interested. So that's a bit stupid. But I'll let you know how Abu Dhabi goes. Thank God for Yuki Tsunoda, who holds both McLarens at bay, meaning that both teams get 4 points and everything stays status quo. Kevin also failed to get any points, so no change there either in the drivers, so it does end Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Lando, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, the other McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, Valtteri Valtteri Bottas, Williams, Haas, Sauber, Haas. Yeah, I dare say if it wasn't for McLaren's baffling management of Zhou Guan Yu through the middle portion of this season, McLaren would have been easily fourth in this championship and probably ahead of Yuki, because they would have taken points off Yuki as well, of course, in that process. So this right here is why this series is not going to continue beyond this point until this isn't a permanent end. If Frontier fix this problem and make drivers more impactful on their car speed. There's been actual experimental evidence done on this, by the way. The effect of which a driver's attributes have on a singular lap is so much less than it was last year. There's been actual experimental evidence that has proved this. People have done tests and have proved this. The only one that has any remotely noticeable impact is braking, and I think a 20-point gain in braking was worth about a tenth. So the difference between 80 braking and 100 braking is 1/10 at best. Whereas better smoothness, and therefore better capabilities of A, retaining the tyre speed in the first place, and B, pushing them, can get you several seconds per race, i.e. more than a tenth per lap. The actual driving attributes are effectively worthless, and they still haven't fixed that. But yes, it is... 3 points for McLaren, 4 points for AlphaTauri. We actually gain a point on them overall. Aston Martin with the remaining ones. A very boring race, really. Only the top 6 teams getting points. Bottom 4 having to deal with nothing. We end the season with the fastest 2 pit stops again. So we do get 879 points in this championship. We get all that. Lovely. Oh, good. I can renew the contract again now. We'll lock him in on $2 million a year for 5 years. There we are. Zay Maloney will take car 1. I'll flip them over in the editor. I'm still setting everything up as if I will continue this at some point, but... yeah, until that's fixed, or unless I'm feeling particularly yearning for it. The lack of impact that you can have on the championship, besides just developing the car, really, really hampers my enjoyment of this right now. So Zay Maloney will take Alex's seat. I'll flip him and Yuki's cars in the editor when I get to the end of the season. I'll have to remember to do that, probably. And that's everything, actually. I do think that's the only thing I had to do, except to obviously get a new reserve driver in, of course. Enzo Fittipaldi is a Red Bull Junior driver, but he's a weirdo who won't take a long contract. That's broken. Yeah, I literally can't. 2 years is too long. I literally can't sign him. The game is broken in that respect. But then I can still continue to offer the contract for some reason. If I can actually get him in for a season, then I'll just tweak it with the editor. I literally can't sign him. Okay. He will agree to $2.5 million a year, which is obviously nonsense because that's more than Zay Maloney is actually on and will be on as a racing driver. You saw that he was more than happy with 1.8 million, but the game is stupid and doesn't work. If I have your permission, and obviously this only affects it if this game continues on and fixes all the other problems, but should there be a season 4 at any point, do I have your permission to change his salary to 1.8 million a year on whatever season contract I can get him onto? Because realistically, he probably should be locked in for like 2 or 3 years, and then we might need to replace him with a different junior driver eventually. But either way, you saw that he was blue happy on 1.8. Do I have your permission to change his contract to that? Because that's what it should be. Because seasons, you literally saw it, he wouldn't even accept 1. Like, any amount of seasons was too long because he's retiring soon. So that's season 3, and sadly, for now, it for AlphaTauri. Until Frontier, as I say, fix the fundamental problems with the basics of their game, it is causing me more frustration than joy, quite frankly. Because the only thing that matters is the car. Until they put that emphasis back on driver functionality and capabilities, along with all the other litany of little problems, as you saw, like the negotiation issues, I don't think they're going to fix the contract problems. The fact, the driver's asking for way too much, I don't think they'll ever fix that. And sort of tyre wear and the way weather works, it seems to have gotten worse somehow than it was at the beginning of the year. I don't know. Maybe there's rose-tinted glasses there. I don't know. But I swear the wet weather conditions have somehow got less realistic and less accurate somehow as a simulation. But either way, until a lot of the fundamentals are dealt with, or at least some of the fundamentals are dealt with, who knows? Maybe there'll be a patch soon. Maybe there'll be a patch in December. There was a big patch in December last year. So maybe that will bring things around and bring things around. It's also possibly the last season of the Football Manager, either this season or the next season of that. As of recording this, I'm not certain yet. But the shift will be to the main save with Football Manager anyway, over on Twitch. So there'll be a little bit of shift of the way content's done anyway over the coming weeks. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for enjoying this ride so far. It's been great for the most part. I've enjoyed your engagement as well, most of all. So thank you for joining me. I very much appreciate that engagement. And I kind of hope you understand where I'm coming from with this, because this isn't acceptable. This is not acceptable. I've looked at the real life standings for this year. Obviously, Sergio's still fighting for second, remarkably, despite how good that Red Bull is. 3rd through 6th are different constructors. 7th through 10th are the same constructors, but different constructors. There is no 2x2 apart from Max and Sergio in the top 10. There is no 2x2 at all apart from Max and Sergio, and even Sergio isn't safe. So, yeah. And that is entirely down to driver capability. I will see you, maybe, hopefully. It's kind of a sad note to end it on for now, but I'm hoping that it is for now. Thank you for watching. Until hopefully next time. Ta-ra.